back to another Tuesday Tips and Tricks. Today we're going to go over the difference between measuring by weight versus volume, specifically with fragrance oils. Now this is very important because all of our fragrance oils have different densities, and measuring by volume instead of weight can greatly impact how your candles turn out. If you add too much fragrance oil, it can start to separate from the wax, which can cause your wicks to be clogged when burning and make your candles tunnel. If you don't have enough fragrance oil, then your scent throw may be too weak to smell. It's also important to note that this is why some of the fragrance oils that you purchase from us may look like they've not been filled with the correct amounts. Since all of our fragrance oils are measured into the bottles by weight, the fill levels will be slightly different. And today we're going to look at two different fragrances with very different densities. Fruit Slices is a very lightweight fragrance, and Blueberry Cobbler is very heavy and dense. So let's see what happens when we measure out the same amount of fragrance oil by volume using these little measuring cups that we have. I've already got these pre-measured. We've got 4 ounces of the Blueberry Cobbler right here. And then this one is the Fruit Slices. So you can see they're filled by volume with the exact same amount of fragrance. And just a quick note, you can see here that these two fragrances are also very different colors. The Fruit Slices is much more of a pale yellow, while the Blueberry Cobbler is this very dark amber color. And this just has to do with the different ingredients that are used to make each fragrance. So now that we have these measured out, let's check the weight and see how different it is. We've got our digital scale here, and I'm actually going to take one of the empty measuring cups, and that way we can subtract the weight of that from what we're weighing out on the scale. Okay, so we can see here that that weighs about 4.5 ounces. So let's first take a look at the Fruit Slices. So we measured out 4 ounces of fragrance oil, and we can see here that this by weight is actually measuring out to 3.45 ounces by weight. And now let's take a look at the Blueberry Cobbler. Again, we measured out 4 ounces by volume, and let me turn it to the ounces side. There we go. And it actually is 4.10 ounces by weight. You can see that that's a pretty notable difference in weight between these two scents. So if we were measuring these scents out by volume, we'd actually be using too much of the Blueberry Cobbler. And because this fragrance is so dense, there's a very strong possibility that it would start to separate from the wax, which can cause your wicks to tunnel and possibly be a fire hazard if there's any oil sitting on top of the candles too close to the flame. Remember that candle making is a science like chemistry, so using precise measurements is very important. If your measurements are off, even by a little bit, it can really mess up your finished product. Okay, y'all, that's it for today. We hope you found this information helpful. We'll see you next week.